Before we do anything today, I want to challenge you. Right now, we live in a world that is constantly fighting for our attention. Our phones, social media, endless entertainment, even artificial intelligence creating things that didn't exist 5 minutes ago. Sometimes it becomes hard to tell what's even real anymore. So here's my challenge to you. Just for a moment, stop focusing on what man or AI has created and turn your attention back to what God has created. Look at the mountains, the rivers, the fish in the sea, the birds in the sky, the wildlife and beauty that surrounds us. But most importantly, the people that are around you. I truly believe the more time we spend focusing on what God has created, the healthier we become. Because when people reconnect with creation, when we have real conversations, real adventures, and meaningful experiences together, that's when life starts to feel the way it was meant to. My deepest hope is that more people would fix their eyes on God and the things that He has made, because it is only through Him that we live, breathe, and experience the kind of life that is truly abundant. If we haven't met yet, my name is Jared Newman, and I'm the founder of the HuntLeague mobile app and community. HuntLeague was built around 3 core principles: confidence, community, and competition. And over the past few years, we've watched those 3 things come to life inside this community of hunters who are passionate about the outdoors and about sharing it with others. Today, you're going to get a glimpse of that at the highest level as we announce the 2 finalists who will move on to compete for the 2025 HuntLeague Outdoorsman of the Year title. Now, the Outdoorsman of the Year is the highest honor that we can award inside the HuntLeague community. It represents far more than just a successful hunting season. It represents all the training, the scouting, the days shooting at the range and honing your craft, time spent mentoring others, and a commitment to conservation. Now, each of these men poured themselves into the 2025 season. All 4 finalists recently joined us on the HuntLeague podcast to share their full stories. And I highly encourage you to go back and listen to those conversations because they are incredibly inspiring. Just to reach this point in the process was no small feat. Throughout the season, these hunters logged their hunts, their scouting trips, and outdoor experiences inside the HuntLeague app. They climbed the HuntLeague leaderboard, submitted detailed applications about their season, and they shared the impact their journey had on others. Out of all of these competitors, 4 hunters rose to the top: Josiah Gowan, Cody Monzi, Cody Parator, and Joshua Dishman. Each of these men represent what it means to be a modern outdoorsman. They're mentors, they're students of the woods, they're conservation-minded hunters, and they represent our community extremely well. Now, to help us determine who will move on to the final round, we assembled a panel of 5 judges, 2 former Outdoorsman of the Year winners who understand exactly what this title represents, along with 3 of our new HuntLeague partners that we believe represent some of the best companies and people inside the hunting industry. We asked Rydell from Asiac Equipment, Marshall from Coltac, and Jason from Dirt Hunting. Each of the judges reviewed applications, they listened to the podcast interviews, and they carefully studied the stories behind each finalist before casting their votes. So now we're going to bring you inside that conversation where you will hear from 2 of our judges as they reveal the 2 hunters who will be advancing to the final round of the 2025 HuntLeague Outdoorsman of the Year Championship. Let me introduce you to our first judge, coming at you from Utah, and the guys behind one of my top 5 favorite innovative gear items from this year's Western Hunt Expo.
I'm Jason Giles with Dirt Hunting. Dirt Hunting started with my brother, myself, and our buddy Grayson. We would go hunting. I was not a hunter that used a glassing pad or chair, and my brother was MacGyvering this chair, and he'd wrap it around his gun, and I'd give him a hard time about taking him. Like, dude, you're such a sissy, dude. Like, you're a hunter. Like, we're backpacking in. Why do you need a little seat? And we get up to a glassing knob, and we're glassing, and my brother finds a deer. I stay back to keep eyes on the deer while he goes on a stalk. And I'm sitting there, I look over and his little chair thing's sitting there. I'm like, oh, I'll just give it a try. I grabbed it, I sat in it, and he was on that stalk for a couple hours. And from that time I sat on it, I stopped making fun of him and became a believer. I also used to make fun of him for using trekking poles, but now I'm a huge believer of trekking poles as well. So this is our Recon Lounger. So it starts out as a rifle carry case, protective case. You can still use your sling. If you have a bipod, you can leave your bipod still on here. Has a detachable muzzle cover. There's carbon fiber rods in here to help protect it. If you trip and fall or you happen to drop this, just help protect the heart of your gun, really. So you can strap it to your pack. You can still use your sling. Hike up in there, get to your glassing spot, and yeah, it's just as easy as pulling the muzzle cover off. Two buckles, Velcro, pull your gun out, and then this just opens up and turns into your glassing pad right here. Has a back support. You have your carbon fiber rods down here and up along the backrest. You can pipe in here if you want, but people, once they sit in it, they just sit there and like are speechless for a minute, like, man, this is comfy. Like, what did you think when you first sat in it?
So you sat in it, and as soon as the thing that actually won me over big time was when you sat in it and you kind of tightened it up more than like a 90 degree.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
so it brings your knees up to you. You got your elbows on the knees, and you're just like, it's not just more comfortable, but it's way more stable.
I like to tighten these up, and like you said, yeah, it pulls it up. So it pulls your knees clear up, and you can literally just rest your elbows right here, and it's solid.
The other aha moment that I didn't really see at first, because I was like, okay, because you're really highlighting the seat and the scope and the cover, the protection that it provides. But the other thing was like how functional it would be as a shooting mat or as a layer underneath your sleeping pad.
People will contact us and be like, hey, did you think to use it like this? Did you? And we're like, yeah, we did. We don't really advertise it, but yeah, there's a lot you can do with it. Put it underneath your sleep system just to help with puncture resist. And a lot of guys nowadays are running those poreless tent systems. But yeah, we've had guys. There's actually a couple of videos on YouTube where some guys have shot their bears. They use it as a bipod. They set it on the ground. And they set their gun on it, and it actually is pretty dang stable because you have 4 points of contact. And then they use their backpack as to put underneath the butt of their gun.
So you've got a rear rest, you've got a front rest.
Your bearing surface, as it goes down, I mean, you almost have a foot of bearing surface of your rifle. So it's actually pretty dang stable for using it as a bipod in a pinch.
Not only am I pumped to have you on as a judge, but I'm also just really excited to have you guys jump in with us in the HuntLeague community, because whoever wins this thing is going to get one of the most amazing setups from Seekins Precision, from Huxworks, from Vortex Optics. And when you have a setup like that, taking it in the woods, we want them to go hunt with this. We don't want this to be something that sits in a display case. And sometimes when you get fancy things, you really want to protect them. And I think this is something that like a backcountry hunter says, look, I'm not going to carry a case in the backcountry, but I'm going to carry this because it's going to protect my glass, protects the trigger, protects the muzzle. It's everything you really need in one package. So again, absolutely great design. Love what you guys have built. I'm honored to have Dirt Hunting. I have to apologize for meeting you at the Western Hunt Expo, jumping in and filming, calling it DRT hunting.
And there's more people that say that than not, but no, that's not a problem. And it's an honor being here. I mean, I knew nothing about HuntLeague. I hadn't even heard of it before I met you, but like I feel like I'm missing out on something, man. Like it's pretty cool the feel the community that you guys are building with HuntLeague.
And I'm going to introduce you guys to Marshall from Coltac. So Marshall, go ahead and tell us a little about who you are, about Coltac, and man, we are excited to have you jump in and be a part of our judges panel.
As Jared said, I'm Marshall from Coltac. I am the marketing manager here at Coltac. I oversee all of the media that gets posted and all the things we do on that. And Coltac actually specializes in American-made goods. We source all of our material in the U.S. We cut, sew, design everything here in-house in Rapid City, South Dakota. We want to say that we are super excited about jumping on board for the Outdoorsman of the Year. It's been really cool hearing all the stories and reading through the top 4 finalists, and also get to know why they're winning and understand where they're coming from, what they've gone through, and all that kind of stuff. It's been really, really fun.
I want you to walk me through the 4 candidates. Like, what stuck out to you? What did you see in each of their stories that was compelling, inspiring?
Yeah. First, I'll kind of start off with Imanzi. That story right there was the first one that I read, and from it connected to me on a personal level, with what he went through. It's things that he had to overcome to get into the field and still be able to have great success throughout his hunting season. And not only that, but all the firsts in the hunting season as well. So as someone who also experienced a lot of firsts this year for myself, I connected on a really deep level with Cody Manzi in terms of what he went through and then what he did on his journey.
The end of his interview, he said, "Don't wallow in your circumstances." That also resonated with me as well. I mean, that's in life in general. And I read something on the HuntLeague Outdoorsman that it's not just about hunting. It's you're looking for guys that are going to push themselves in the hunting world, but also outside the hunting world. I always tell my kids there's two things that they can control in their life: their attitude and their effort. And so I resonated really well with Cody M right there. I mean, his circumstance, man, that's just having to deal with that.
This time last year, it was like all hunting plans were on pause. And then to have the year that he had, it's just like, what an overcome story. I mean, it was unbelievable.
Yeah. And the cool thing about that too, man, he kept saying that he was blessed. He was very positive in your podcast with him. I don't know. I could appreciate being in a situation. He could have just hunkered down and stayed at his house and had a longer pity party. I think he did say, he's like, you're allowed to have a little pity party, but then you need to buck up or something like that. You can tell he's just the go-getter type of guy, getting things done and happy about life.
So then with Joshua, the thing that connected with me the most is the way that he talked about taking veterans out into the field and going on these hunts and the joy it brought him bringing these veterans out, and whether they were successful or not. He talked about the idea of seeing them smile and be happy and enjoying the outdoors and the hunt itself. I actually went on a veterans type hunt recently and it was a blast. I mean, we brought out these guys. Some of them didn't have much experience. Some of them did. But regardless, the way they felt in camp and excited to get ready for mule deer archery hunt in South Dakota was amazing. And so right there, I connected immediately with Joshua's story and understanding the joy that you get from seeing another person enjoying the outdoors just as much as you are.
So Josh, he's a guy that I would like to have at my hunt camp. He's the guy I feel like is very knowledgeable, one that would push me to be a better hunter. That's one thing I really like about him is how he takes the veterans out on hunts. I guess not just veterans, but he took a lot of people out on different hunts. Right now in his stage of hunting, he sees more joy from watching and helping other hunters than he does actually killing the animal. He's just a good dude, down to earth. I don't know these guys, but just from their interviews, you can tell he's a guy I don't want to be around and stealing knowledge from him.
Josiah's story, I really, really like. He had a lot of great hunts that he went on and some amazing photos.
You can tell he just inundates himself with hunting. Like you can tell he's a fanatic already, and I can appreciate someone that grabs onto something and just runs with it. His attitude towards hunting, man, like there's not very many other hunters with that. I don't know, that grit, I guess you can say, to just get out there and get it done. Like his story with hunting that elk with his dad, and his dad's falling behind, and he's just like, dude, I just had to go. That was probably my favorite story out of the. Well, I don't know if I can say that. It's one of my favorite stories from the 4 finalists. I was like, dude, if I put them as 1 and 2, I'm like, I just feel bad for the next person that has to pick one of them.
So with Josiah, immediately the number one connection I had with this story is that I am also a fellow Wisconsinite. So seeing a person on here from Wisconsin, being a part of this HuntLeague app that I am slowly learning more about, right there, that was kind of a funny connection that I had with the story. But I also love the idea of the family orientation of his story and the way that he went to Colorado with his family and did a hunt. I've always wanted to do that. Growing up in Wisconsin, as Josiah and I probably can relate, it's a very family-oriented hunting camp style. And so that connection was amazing. I loved reading about his family hunting in the outdoors and how he got into it, similar to how I got into hunting. And there was a really deep connection there from home. So that was pretty sweet. Moving on to Cody P. He had another great story. I loved hearing all the hunts and how he kind of went into a way of trying to figure out more incorporation of his family into his hunts, which I think is awesome because I'm not someone that has kids of my own yet, but I am at that point in my life where I will be thinking about that. And I didn't even think about the idea of incorporating those kids and the family into hunting in the world, which got me thinking for a second, like, oh man, yeah, I'm gonna have to think about that when I get there. And knowing and seeing how he did it gave me kind of a cool baseline to look at and say, like, oh, this can be done. If he can do it, I can do it.
I'm in that stage of my life right now. I have 3 of my own kids. This last year, man, I used that excuse of, well, I have kids, like I can't get out and can't go out and chase the deer, use my tag like I should. And I also feel bad leaving my wife. I mean, I think behind every hunter that gets to spend a lot of days in the field, there's a significant other behind him. Taking his kids with him on those hunts, having them in the blind, making me view my future hunting season this year totally different.
Also, the other aspect to him was bringing in a lot of people into the outdoors and getting people involved, which I think is really important. Getting people started is the hardest part. And once that's done, they get hooked. And it just takes people like Cody P to get people involved, get them excited about hunting, and get them wanting to continue to hunt and care about our conservation and our public lands and things like that.
All right, this gets to be one of the tougher parts. You guys have seen our 4 finalists. We've got 4 incredible hunters that had amazing stories this year. It is incredibly difficult for our judges every year to pick who is moving on and eventually who is going to wear the crown, because only one can be named the 2025 Outdoorsman of the Year. Tonight, we are going from 4 and taking it down to 2. And our first person moving on to the finals, I'm going to have Jason from Dirt Hunting tell us who that person is. So Jason, take it away. Let us know who you are bringing to the finals next week.
All 4 of these guys, man, they're a good example of what a hunter and an outdoorsman should be. I'm glad I'm only helping move from 4 to 2, and I'm not the one choosing the final, because that, like you said, man, all these guys that are deserving. But the first person moving on the 2025 HuntLeague Outdoorsman of the Year is Cody P.
Cody P. Okay, Cody P. Well done. Congratulations, moving to the finals. Do you have any words that you want to say about Cody P and what really pushed him over the top?
So Cody P, at my stage of life right now, as a hunter, as a dad, I guess, his attitude of wanting to take his kids out on a hunt, even knowing that's gonna decrease his odds of being successful. It's more successful in being that better dad or that hero to his kids. I'm in that same boat right now where I've used the excuse that, oh, I can't go out, I have kids, I got to stay home with the kids. But he's really made me think more. I need to change my attitude towards that and look and say, hey, I might not get that deer or that elk or whatever, but it's a memory my kids will remember. It's probably make some memories that I'll always remember. And he's changed my view on my upcoming hunt season to include them more, include my wife more.
Congratulations, Cody, as being our first finalist heading into the finals. So we're going to hear from Marshall. Marshall, tell us who is the last finalist that is going to join Cody P as we head into the finals next week.
Yeah, for sure. I'd like to first start out by whoever does not make it on, we aren't leaving you in the rear. Coltac is sending you guys home with a rear Woobie support bag. These bags come in a couple different materials, so we'll have you contact us and choose what you want, whether it's our stretch material, our nylon, or wax. You get to pick. But these are great rear support bags, perfect for the range, and our stretch and our nylon are pretty lightweight. That you'll be able to take them out in the woods with you, use them for support on your next hunt. All right, with that said, it's time to get into the moment you all have been waiting for. But first, let's take a look at what we're giving to our second place winner and our first place winner once they move on to the finalist round next week. The second place is going home with our backbone bag frame and our flat bag. These 2 items actually work in tandem with one another. It's something that we highlighted on the HuntLeague YouTube not that long ago from the Western Hunt. So if you want to check it out and learn more about it, check that video out or head to our site and we've got some video content showing you guys how this all works. You'll be able to select what mount you want on the frame. So we got a couple different options there, as well as what material and color option you want for the flat bag. Our first place winner is going home with a bag that is already making a huge impact in the shooting world right now. It has a new proprietary fill in it that we developed here at Coltac. It is called our Revolution bag. This is going to be kind of your range support bag. And if you're looking to get in those competitions, PRS or NRL Hunter, this bag is going to be your best friend. So the Revolution bag is going to the first place winner, as well as 2 products of your choosing on the website. You'll reach out to us and we'll get you set up. You can peruse the website, see what you like, and let us know, and we'll get you those 2 other products added in with this bag. Now, with all that being said, let's get to the winner. Moving on to the finalist round, along with Cody P, is Monzi. Cody Monzi is moving on, Cody P's best friend, and they are going to be moving on head-to-head in the finals. I can't wait to see who comes out on top. It's going to be a little friend feud, and I hope they're good at the end of it. I hope the friendship's still there at the end of this. But good luck to you both, and I really hope you guys enjoy the battle and have a great one. And thank you so much for letting Coltac be a part of this announcement. This whole community is just amazing, and we're so glad to be a part of it. Thank you so much.
All right, you guys heard it from Marshall. Now we are officially moving forward with Cody Parator and Cody Monzi, 2 guys that have been best friends since middle school, hunting buddies these last several years, and shared many of their adventures together this year. I absolutely cannot believe 2 guys from the same friend group have the opportunity to go and compete head-to-head. But you heard it from Marshall, the guys at Coltac, the judges have spoken. That's 2 of our previous Outdoorsman of the year. Rydell from Asiac Equipment, Jason from Dirt Hunting, and now Marshall from Coltac. They have all weighed in. The votes have been cast, and it is official. Cody Parator and Cody Monzi, you guys are making it to the finals. We're excited to see who at the end of this will wear the crown, the one and only crown of being the 2025 Outdoorsman of the Year. So congratulations, fellas. We'll see you next week in the finals.